I'm guilty of saying it to him. It was like, that's just how I am. That's who I am, man. I was just raised that way. Sarcasm was my first language.
Yep.
And passive aggressiveness was second language. English is my third language. And I'm barely good at it.
Yeah. Well, I think he knew his purpose in his job was different. Yeah. This is what we do. This is what my daddy does, but this is not my purpose. Yeah. That's why he was always drifting off and doing his purpose in synagogues and talking to people. He was sick.
People say that's Jesus, right? I'm not Jesus, and Jesus had the special juice and all that stuff.
No, none of us. What we do for a living is not our purpose, unless it is. Like that's what you were called to do, and you're getting paid for it. Okay, now it's your job. But
it's still your purpose, but it's not your identity.
Right. Yeah. It's not your identity. How many men go around and say, hey man, I'm just treating my wife so bad. Can you help me?
People come in here on Wednesday.
So they come here because they were sent here.
What is up, family? Welcome back to another episode of the 2 to 1 pod. My name is Sean, that is Rob, and that is Tony. And we're so glad that you have come back to join us for another week. Today, we are going to be talking about escaping the cycles that we repeat.
Say that again.
Escaping the cycles that we repeat.
Just the repeat part.
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding.
Repeat. Repeat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've all done this before, right? We say that we're going to start something on Monday. Monday comes and we don't do the thing that we say we're going to do, and we feel shame. So then we overcommit the next time and then we miss it again, right? And then that's not laziness, but that is a pattern. So men don't fail once, they fail repeatedly. And it's predictable. It's predictable. Yeah. Predictable failure is not a weakness, it's repetition. So here's the uncomfortable truth. Men rarely repeat cycles on purpose. Let me say that again. Men rarely repeat cycles on purpose. We repeat them unconsciously. So, Rob, unpack that a little bit there.
So you're saying that we just subconsciously we just do stuff and we repeat stuff over and over without saying, hey, I'm going to do this. It just happens, right?
Yep.
Repetition compulsion is what that's called. Repetition compulsion was something that Freud talked about. And if you don't know him, shout out to the boy, Sigmund Freud, which you don't have to agree with him or anything. But this one, I agree with him on. There's a psychological term for what Sean's talking about, repetition compulsion. It's when a man unconsciously recreates painful emotional environments, hoping that this time it ends differently. So I think we all have probably said, I hope that this changes. The outcome is different.
Yeah.
And then you always get in a conversation that somebody will inevitably say, well, that's just, that's how they define insanity. Yeah. You keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. This is repetition compulsion, but it's based on recreating those painful emotional environments, we're just hoping that it's going to have a different ending. I've watched this movie, but do they still die at the end? I watched this movie. Do they still make it? Do they catch the bad guy? You already know the ending.
Yeah.
But yet we keep doing the same thing. Same financial stress. Anybody out there ever have financial stress? I feel you.
Yep.
Relational distance. Anybody ever have that?
Yep.
Man. Shutdown and conflict. How many of us love conflict? I mean, I know talking to my wife, I will say, I hate arguing.
But you do it so well.
Yeah. Why are you so good at it then? Mama said, if you're going to be good at something, be the best. Addiction pattern. It's the same addiction pattern. And with me and my addictions, whenever I was so hooked deep into all the prescription meds and all the drinking and all that, I remember standing in a closet saying, how old are you going to be when you stop this? And the only thing I remember was not today. It ain't gonna happen today, boy. And reach in, let's get high. But it was the inside just craving a different outcome, but the same pattern, same anger flare up, right? When somebody rage baits you, you know, shout out to Justin and Amari. Amari is, we want to shout out to Amari. Maybe put a picture of Amari.
Yeah, can we do that?
He brought rage baiting to my attention, so I'm trying to put that in everywhere.
That conversation we had a couple of weeks ago, was that rage baiting, Amari?
Amari, was it?
We were talking about just the political sphere and whatnot, right? No, it wasn't.
He doesn't. All right, we'll let him off the hook. But have you ever had the same "I'll do better next time" speech in your head? If you've had that, we're talking to you, because that is a pattern. And like Sean said, it doesn't make you a bad person. It's not just you're weak. It's you're experiencing repetition.
Yeah. And your brain repeats familiar emotional situations, even painful ones, because they feel known or familiar. That's really what it is.
Yeah. So that's how that subconscious works. And we make those unconscious decisions because we just have done it so much. It's what we know.
Yeah.
But is that the same as... Well, that's just how I was raised.
You know, it's the inside explains it, right? But it doesn't give us an excuse to do it.
Yeah. How many times have you heard that's just how I am?
Every day. Every day.
Yeah, don't tell us who says it.
Every day.
But I'm guilty of saying it to him.
Every day.
Really?
Yes, not lately, but early on.
Wow.
When we started really having intense dialogue 3 years ago. It was like, that's just how I am. That's who I am, man. I was just raised that way. Sarcasm was my first language.
Yeah.
And and passive aggressiveness was second language. English is my third language. And I'm barely good at it.
Yeah.
So it's so familiar to fall back into these patterns. Man, how do we move from the world of this is just who I am, this is how things are, that's how I was raised, to the world of possibility that there's something else?
Tony, you want to go? No, not yet. Okay, he's cooking over there. I'll say first, you have to get to a point to where we all have to get to a point to where is like you said on the inside, there is a point where it's like, I don't want to be this person anymore. And are you changing? Not today, right? But there is not today, but there is going to come a day when, okay, today is the day, right? And sometimes that from a biblical perspective, those are strongholds. Right? Can we imagine if Jesus Christ, right? He was born in a manger. You know, there the scripture says, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" Right. So if Jesus took on this, like, I'm from the hood, son, and God gave him his identity, if he would have walked in that, he would have never, fulfilled the purpose in which he fulfilled. So we have to first get to the mindset of, I want to do different and I'm going to do something different. And I think it's one step at a time. I think
you imagine if Jesus said, I'm a carpenter, and that's all he identified himself as. That wasn't his identity.
Yeah.
But
he worked in it though.
Yeah.
While fulfilling purpose.
Well, I think he knew his purpose in his job was different.
Yeah.
This is what we do. This is what my daddy does, but this is not my purpose. Yeah, and that's why he was always drifting off and doing his purpose in synagogues and talking to people, healing the sick.
People say that's Jesus, right? I'm not Jesus, and Jesus had the special juice and all that stuff.
No, none of us, what we do for a living is not our purpose, unless it is. It's like, that's what you were called to do and you're getting paid for it. Okay, now it's your job. But
it's still your purpose, but it's not your identity.
Right. Yeah. It's not your identity. So,
and we'll talk about identity in a little bit. All right. So if loving someone, if love once came with criticism, then you may naturally, unconsciously gravitate towards tension.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody who just I thrive in tension. I thrive in tension. I thrive in chaos. I thrive in that.
I actually do. I'm an INTJ on the Myers-Briggs, and I actually excel. Like one of my specialties is, and Daddy, you know this, the heart. I'm sorry, we cut that out. I'm overthinking something. My bad.
Started Myers-Briggs.
So my INTJ on the Myers-Briggs, and small things bother me. Right, because it might be control, whatever. Right, small thing. I can't fix it. But the larger things, like this is impossible, might frustrate most people. I thrive in that. Like I'm super calm, and I'm like, oh, we can just do X, Y, and Z. I don't know. I like that, and I'm pretty good at being in those situations, bringing peace and calm in the chaos and the storm.
Yeah, I see that differently.
Okay.
I see that as you thrive. You're calm under pressure. Stuff doesn't really freak you out. You're good, and you can handle the heat. But let's talk a different type of chaos. Like I'm talking about tension where it's combative and there's relationships involved and there's babies screaming and you're holding a baby, it's screaming, one of the kids is peeing off the porch and you live in a neighborhood, right? Then it's like everybody's looking at you. You're not living out in the country, but then the dog's barking and the bills are stacked up and like it's just chaos or negativity. Misery loves company.
And then the key is you say criticism. So when you're getting a finger pointed at you, are you saying you thrive in that?
Nah, I ain't good at that, cuz.
When the girl is going off at the house about all the things that you did not do, are you thriving? Is that what you're telling us?
My wife never does that to me.
But
she never does that to me.
That's great, but a lot of them do. And so that's the kind of,
and a lot of us do that to them.
Yes.
All right, I just want to play the other side.
Not me though.
Yeah.
Okay, Rob.
I'm a saint.
Yeah, he's a saint. He has a great relationship.
If it seems like Rob is always apologizing in the podcast, he is.
Yeah.
But a lot of us don't do that, but he does.
It's true. Some of us are the ones that are always
and y'all may identify with him.
Popping off and snapping back.
Blame game is everybody else's problem. Yeah.
If chaos was normal, like I would say that I grew up in what I thought was just fun, having my family, cousins and stuff all around. But really, a lot of what I remember, from a different perspective looking in, it was a lot of chaos. And if you grow up, if chaos is normal in your life, then peace is foreign. So if peace is foreign, you're going to probably push back from peace because it is unknown. What is known? Chaos. If rejection shaped us, distance would feel a lot safer than intimacy. So I would venture to say there are a lot of dudes out there that they don't mind being intimate with their spouse, but only in a sexual way. But intimacy, to sit down and talk, like how many minutes are you putting in of real conversation with your spouse at home or with your significant other? How much time are you investing, like real talk? 15 minutes,
and not feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah. And not just being talked to, because you're not talking. And I'm telling you, I think the intimacy, it's foreign for a lot of men. The true intimacy, the conversation, just the physical touch, the holding of the hand, and just soul gaze with somebody. You ever done that? You know what a soul gaze is?
No.
You want to do it?
No.
All right, good. I didn't either. All right, but what a soul gaze is get with your spouse, get with your significant other, get with somebody else, and I mean, you're not gonna move in and start moving in for a kiss. It's not weird, freaky stuff, but get with somebody and look them in the eye for a minute. And don't do anything but just soul gaze. Like, just connect. Let everything go. I'm telling you, it's intimacy.
Yeah, when me and my wife coach premarital, like people that are about to get married, we learned this from our therapist, but it's a knee to knee, right? So essentially what you're saying, you take your spouse, you sit knee to knee, and y'all sit across from each other, and you just look each other in the eyes. And it is super awkward and it's super weird at first. But then that says a lot about us too, right? Because you start off with, hey, with affirmations, right? I love the chicken you cooked last night. Your outfit is banging right now, girl. And then you say, I receive it, right? Like, Rob, I hate that you changed. I like your jacket.
Yeah.
But you was looking sharp earlier, man.
Yeah.
And it's the eye contact, Rob.
Right.
I receive it. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part, is that I receive what you're saying for a lot of us. And I think that's important for men to be able to receive the affirmation, especially from other men as well.
Yeah. Yeah. But just thinking about this stuff, criticism, chaos, that's most people's environment when they're growing up. A lot of people, if you're raised in a single home, your mom is usually fussing at you because she's trying to hold us all together and you ain't cooperating.
Yeah, we don't even know the pressure.
Yeah, the clothes are everywhere. You're not, and you've been put into a position to where you're the big brother, or you got to be the man of the house, so you got to clean, babysit, and do all this other stuff. And so you don't know how to respond in a calm situation because you've never even seen it. Right? You just you talk about you being raised at 14 by yourself. You're raising yourself. So you know how to raise yourself.
Yeah.
Add 3 more people to that and say we're family. It's difficult to relate because I can do this on my own. I can function and have a great time doing it. But when all of a sudden I got to be responsible for you and I got to listen at your comments and your situation and your circumstance and this and that, all of a sudden, nah, I'm not doing this, bro. I'm shutting down.
Isolate.
Yeah.
I'm retreating.
And if we think about it, we probably do this, like you said. We repeatedly do these things. Yeah. And they've become protective measures for us.
Yeah, and patterns pass through families when no one interrupts them. So it's just something that's handled, but this is just something that we do.
That's good. Okay. Good.
Patterns pass through families
when no one interrupts them. So now we're talking about like generational things, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about escaping the cycles that we repeat. Right?
Yeah, we constantly repeat these.
Yeah.
So I repeated patterns of my father. And my dad died in 2017. And
R.I.P.
I pulled one up for my homie. It's been interesting to walk through my life from 2017 to present. And there's a lot of things that my dad did that I would never do. There's a lot of things that I just said I would never do that I did. And I see everything that he did, I did. He got a divorce from my mother. I got a divorce from my kid's mother when my son was the same age I was, when my dad and my mom split up. It's just so unconscious, but we repeat those generational patterns. Just like you said, they're handed down. And they'll continue until they are interrupted. So one thing that I like in our notes that we've kind of worked through is, if you keep repeating painful patterns, it doesn't mean that you're broken. And I know a lot of times, like I've said this a million times myself, I'm just broke. Not money-wise, but I'm just a broken dude. I'm just broken. That becomes my identity too. But it's not true. Like I'm operating in repeated patterns. And it means that my mind is trying to resolve something unhealed the only way it knows how to do it. Mm-hmm. So I think for men that are watching, if you repeat a cycle of something that you're constantly repeating and you hate it, but you keep repeating it, then you hate it, and then you keep repeating it and you do what? You hate it. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that you're broken. It just means your mind is trying the only way it knows how to resolve something that's unhealed in you. That's pretty powerful.
Yep.
And it doesn't justify your action. It doesn't exempt you from having to interrupt it, but it calls you to action. And you said something earlier about when we were talking about some different stuff, but you said something about the interrupting the pattern or something like that. You remember what you said? Because apparently I don't, but I just know I liked it, but I don't remember what you said.
I said,
I mean, I tried to give you as much runway as possible there, but I really didn't help you land that plane because I can't remember it. I just lost what you said. So while you're looking for what you said, how many of you out there have
the patterns pass through families when no one interrupts them?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So he's talking about the interruption, the passing through. So how many of you men out there have said, or you know what, we actually have ladies listening too. So how many of us out there have ever said, I am not going to be my mom. I am not going to be my dad.
Me?
You said that?
Oh, of course.
Did you ever do anything that reflected kind of what your dad did?
Oh, of course.
Yeah? Let's hear it.
Nah.
No? We're not there yet?
No.
All right. So...
You say you ain't finna have me out here.
Not today. To put my laundry.
A lot of times it was just the mindset. And sometimes it was searching for something that I was trying to do, and I was reminded that he did it. Then I had to ask the question, why is he doing it? Mm-hmm. Like my dad drank a lot. So why am I asking for a drink knowing that I've seen what it will do to a person? And then realizing, oh, that's why he did that. And so now I have a choice to do it, or do something differently. But the call was always there to do it. The call was there. It's kind of like my daughter when she went to college. She became a connoisseur of what matching foods with liquor, and different pairings. Pairings, yeah.
Yes.
I was like, where did she get that from? Well, that was from my grandfather, my dad. They all, So I was like, oh. So it's in you, that's a whole nother thing, because that means it's like that familiar spirit that comes and affects you, then it comes and affects your little kids, because it knows if I got Tony, I can get Miles, or I can get, because, they're in the same family, they got the same, so that's a whole nother way to look at it. So I think it was shocking to me to hear her say that. No, I just like the way they pair. Like, this goes with that. So I would call her and say, what go with this? She said, oh, no, that's a white wine. Oh, this is a red wine. I was like, okay, I don't know. But
that's Thunderbird.
Yeah,
this
took it to another
pairs
level.
Well with Mad Dog 2020.
She took it to another level because he would drink with everything, right? But she took it to another level to kind of...
They call it sommeliers.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, but it's just those kind of things that I thought I had a great dad. Now, my brothers and sisters may differ. But there's certain things that he did that I'll question why he did them, and then I found myself thinking about them, but not necessarily doing them. Mm-hmm. But then I would always ask the question, so why do you want to do this? So I'm talking to the Lord. If anybody didn't know that, that's what I do a lot. So I'm talking to the Lord and says, why would he want to do this? And then those downloads would come because he was trying to do this. Aren't you trying to alter your situation? You don't like the way it looks? Well, let's go get drunk to alter it. But when you sober up, it looks the same. So so that kind of stuff. If you really wanted me to unpack it, Rob, thank you very much.
I like it. Thanks for your vulnerability. Appreciate that. Just toss this question out. I want y'all to think about it too. If you're listening, when in your life did a pattern move from something that just happened to something that you knew you were choosing? Like, you knew you were choosing it. And so, for example, to kind of give you a little background, like we know we have a men's group every Wednesday night that we talk to men about, and there's always, I had a breakdown and then I recommit. When, like something like that, we're talking about generational patterns, ministry, identity, performance, addiction, income, inconsistency, passive aggressiveness, being our first language, just that kind of stuff. When did your life pattern move from it just happened to I know I'm choosing it? Anything come to mind on that you are willing to share, Tony or Sean?
Rob.
I'm doing all the talking here. I will definitely share.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm an oversharer.
Yeah, you are. You're right.
I think repeat that question one more time.
When in your life did a pattern move from something that just happened to something that you were consciously aware that you were choosing?
Those questions are so hard for me because I have a difficult time. I'm always thinking forward, and now I am. Now I'm always thinking forward rather than just living in the past, right? So the consequence of that is like being here in the present, in the now. So that's I would have to really think of time, and then I'm always learning, and I'm always just adjusting to what's going on. So that's a tough question for me to answer right now.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole purpose of this.
A time, that basically it became something that I didn't know, but now I know this is.
I threw y'all softball, man. Y'all all know that I'm sarcastic.
I have one,
and y'all call me out on it, and I have to say, man, that because it was just natural. It was just how I talk. That was our second language in my house, and that's how I talk. But I didn't. Y'all helped me realize, surface the what it was, and bring it to the surface for me to say, look, just because it's funny or it's quick in your mind, it hurts people. And I'm like, that's because they weak. But no, I didn't say that. But
Yes,
so I did think that. I'm like, well, they got to toughen up. But really, it falls on me. Y'all brought it to my awareness, and I have to say, wow, okay. Do I continue to do that, or do I have to learn how to speak differently or curb it? So that's one for me is sarcasm. Because it's just natural to me. It's just funny, but it hurts and it's unnecessary. So I know that's one for me. Just one off the top of my head. You said you had one.
Yeah, dude. I was just reminded of how much money you lost when you was trying to not be sarcastic, and you have to pay every time you was.
Well, that is true. I was penalized financially.
No, this is different. So
Yeah.
I remember I was in the Marines and I had to do a class on brakes or whatever. And I knew I loved talking in front of people, but somewhere in the midst of that, I got really nervous. And so what I did was I made all of my teachings after that point really short. So I would give you 10 minutes of power. Then I back out if I made a mistake. And that became a pattern of 8 years because they always put me in front of places. But I would say, get in real quick, punch you real hard. And they would say, man, we thought there were more. And I would always back out before I made a mistake. Because I think in that first situation, I made a mistake. Yeah. I said something a certain way. And so now I will give you as much as I could give you. Boom. That's why I learned to memorize stuff and I didn't want to look at any more notes because I just got thrown off. So, yeah.
You think that had something to do with rejection?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
it has something to do with rejection. It has something to do with being in a platoon where everybody was 6'4", 250-pound bodybuilders, and I'm 135 pound wet.
Yeah,
and I was in charge. It had a lot to do with a lot of different things. But I had to make an impact. I had to show leadership, but at the same time, I didn't want to be exposed or, ridiculed for not being good enough. And so, yeah,
I think that is so powerful for everyone to hear. Because you resort to the familiar. That's just, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to bam, 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 bam.
Hit it and quit.
Deuces.
Yep.
And then leave everybody. You protect yourself from exposure.
I learned to leave them wanting.
Oh yeah.
And then the crazy thing about it, that became the good thing, because they always talked about it later. Mm-hmm. What else was in your notes? And I just thought that was my little badge.
Yeah. I won't share them.
Yeah, but it's not a good thing.
No,
though.
it's just like I just had to bounce up out of there. Do you have anything?
I'm still stumped. So I'm thinking
Man,
about.
you better figure that out. You don't have to figure it out today.
No, I
but
think,
by next episode, you better.
something is maybe, I want to say overcommitting. Repeat the question one more time.
All right. When in your life did it move from a pattern move from something that just happened to something that you were aware of, that you were allowing to happen?
Thank you. I think just being defensive. So, and not accepting critique. So placing meaning on something, right?
Yeah.
You could say, you talk about speaking to people, right? Or speaking in front of people, right?
Yep.
Public speaking, right? I think if I present something or if I say something, usually it's to my wife and she doesn't agree with me or someone doesn't agree with me, then I shrink and I become defensive in a mean way. I start lashing out. Well, what do you mean? And get offended instead of taking the person's feedback.
Genuine. They were trying to figure out genuinely what you're talking about.
It's neutral.
Yeah.
It is 100% neutral.
Yo, I went to my therapist this yesterday, I think, right? She's like, describe how do you feel right now? I was like, I'm neutral. Speaking of just neutral, like feeling, I was like, life is good. I'm neutral. And so now with that, usually that would happen. My wife knows these things. I probably wouldn't show it in front of people. Like my boss, very brilliant guy, right? Mm-hmm. I've learned, and I've been rocking him for a minute. I've been under his leadership for like almost 9-10 years. And brilliant guy. I would get offended because I think I'm pretty smart too, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, well, you're missing what I'm saying. No, I figured out he's not saying what I'm saying is dumb. He's not downcasting the project that I'm working on. He's offering, another way of thinking. But he's not saying that, no, I disagree. Yeah. Or if he does disagree, hey, it's a conversation, but it's all in love.
Right.
And it wasn't until last year when I had the conversation, like, I did something and I kind of went around about doing something. Mm-hmm. And we had a follow-up conversation. And I said, hey, I did this, kind of went around him because I thought that he would have said no to this proposal. Yeah. And that was like the first time in a long time I was just very transparent with him. And ever since then, he was like, oh, no, I'm not. I might have said, I might have disagreed with whatever that proposal. However, I wouldn't have said that you couldn't propose in a sense. Does that make sense? What I'm saying? And so now with that light, he wants what's best for me.
Right. Story change.
Yeah. So I now when I feel myself getting defensive at home with my wife, you know what? I apologize. I'm getting defensive, or being aware of, what I said probably came across as harsh or sharp or, condescending or whatever. I'm not trying to sound like that. I've noticed within the past probably year and a half that my speech at home, I am quick to, or at least I think I'm quick to.
You're quicker.
Yeah, I'm quicker. Yes, but I'm quicker to, hey, when I said that, how did that come across? Okay, well, I wasn't meaning it in that way. Is there a better way that I can say it? So now I'm welcoming the feedback, because I know that the audience that I'm talking to, they genuinely love me. And then people that don't care, I don't care either. Right. So cool, let's keep on moving.
Yeah, I think you said something in my brain. This is where it registered. When a person does stuff repeatedly, no matter what the situation is, he's going to repeat these certain things because it's his defensive mechanism. He's thinking, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, or whatever. So he doesn't hear what you're really saying. Mm-hmm. But then when you come to the awareness that you do those things and that the person that you're dealing with has your best interest at heart, it causes you to think about those habits and want to change them.
Mm-hmm. Or as my therapist would say, the filter, we've changed the filter.
Yeah.
So we all have a filter in which we receive things, in which we hear things. Mm-hmm. So if that filter is dirty, if it has, it will say it's dirty, or it's the wrong filter, wrong lens, right? Then how we hear things is how that filter picks it up. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so we change the filter and say, oh, my wife loves me and she wants what's best for me, and we're on the same team. Mm-hmm. My upline, like he loves me. We're on the same team. We're all working for a common good, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So my filter is like, oh, well, you're not meaning that in a negative way. We want to win. We want to win together, right? So it's changing the filter in which we view things.
So I think what comes to mind for me is, do we act as if when people are saying things to us, do we act as if they're coming from a place where they have our best interest in mind to remain neutral? Mm-hmm. Short answer, no. Long answer, yes. Mm-hmm. Like, we know people, but the short answer is no, mm-hmm. because we know neutrality, being neutral doesn't mean being naive.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So sometimes people don't have our best interest in mind.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
Like, yeah, you need to give me all your money.
Right.
You need to give me your car. Yeah. Like, okay, first of all, no. Especially your really nice big V8 truck. Everybody wants it. Now that you got it back with the catalytic converter, finally.
Right, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just don't have your best interest in mind. But if you know that, you can still remain neutral because that's just them. That's whatever. It's not, and I'm not going to take that advice anyway.
Yeah, but if your things that you constantly repeat are bad, and they're bad for other people,
mm-hmm. Well, say that again.
If you say this repeated behavior,
yeah,
meaning you learn how to do things without even thinking about it. This is how you repeat.
Sure.
Whether the person is good for you or not, you will never know. Because now you got this little thing running in your head. This is how you respond. Friend or foe, this is how I respond.
You ain't finna be disrespecting me.
Right?
Like, oh, you.
Susan's coming at me all sideways. I must tell her. Wrong. Colleagues question everything I'm talking about. Wrong. Because now it's my repeated behavior because I've never had it checked. I've never had it.
For sure.
I've never come to resolve that this is not good for me any longer.
Right. That's the question.
So I've come to now just ask more questions. Wait, whoa. Hey, I'm taking this I'm taking this negatively right now. And this is short answer, right? Is that what you mean? Tell me what you mean by that.
Right.
And this is a loved one, right? I know this is not what you mean, but this is how I'm hearing. Can you tell me like your heart behind it? Oh, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this.
They're so politically correct.
So neutrality is not...
I have to be, man.
I know this is what you probably meant or you didn't mean. I don't know which one it is, but this is how I'm feeling. So I'm going to give you both outs. It's okay with me.
Yeah, but...
a soft answer turns away
wrath. But that does not mean that is... I think that is void of responsibility on your part.
What's that?
Well, you said this, blah, 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 blah. No, it's like, I don't care what you said. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to make meaning either way. So neutrality is really just refusing to automatically assign meaning to something. That's just... I'm going to assume that it's not a negative motive. Mm-hmm. Unless it's obvious. Give me your car. Give me all your money. Like, I understand that. You should just do this.
Right.
Like, all right, if somebody says that, you should know. Okay? But that's the naivety. You can't be naive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the neutrality is, I am going to refuse. Man, if I could get really good at this, I would be killer with relationships. Everything, business, personal, my kids, everything. If no matter what they say, I refuse to assign any type of negative motive behind that. Now that's different. They're like, oh, I got that hurt my feelings. About like, people can't hurt your feelings. Can they?
Yeah.
I mean, just for real, can somebody hurt your feelings?
Not until you internalize it and let it hurt your feelings.
Until you assign a negative motive behind it. Like, I'm going to get hurt.
Unexamined meaning becomes identity. and if meaning is wrong, then the behavior will always be wrong.
But you got to be gangster.
Wait
to
a second.
and say whatever.
If meaning,
that's not. Yeah, you got to be gangster because that's strong. That's being.
You got to be me. I don't even. It's like you can't give people your power. I get it, but the average man will bird you on the freeway.
The bird you mean give you the
verge.
the one finger.
Oh,
peace
the
sign.
bird. I thought you said
bird. The one finger
peace
peace
sign.
sign.
Him and he's trying to go fast. And you're trying to go fast, and you cut in front of him. He's going to find a problem with you doing that. But it's a freeway
for sure.
But the average man is not going
freeway. You mean the interstate?
Yeah.
Interstate.
I'm messing with you.
Whatever. I've been here a long time. But the average man is going to always have. He's going to put. I'm going to say this, and it's going to be bad. He's going to put meaning behind everything because that's what we do.
Sure, we're meaning makers.
You're talking about neutrality. The average man ain't got no neutrality.
But now, if you know. So this is what I was trying to get you to find in your notes. Once you know and you're aware of something, then what? That's what I was trying to get you to find, if you could find that, because that was super powerful when we were talking about. It's the awareness moment. Like, we constantly repeat these cycles and these patterns, but that's why I asked the question. The moment you realize it's no longer a pattern, unconsciously happening, you're making a conscious decision to continue to do it. And I'm going to say this, the hard thing. It's if you're a man out there and you decide, look, I'm just going to masturbate just because I want to feel good, or I'm going to watch porn, or I'm going to drink some beer tonight. I'm going to smoke some weed. It's a blunt. I'm going to do a rail, whatever. Rail,
yeah, okay.
Or line, whatever. You're choosing that.
I know what you're talking about, right?
You're choosing that.
So once a pattern is visible, it is no longer unconscious.
There you go.
I get that.
That's what you said earlier, and I love that. I agree with that.
It's not unconscious, but at the same time, you believe that it's the way to respond. You believe that this is how it's done.
So once that pattern is exposed, it's no longer subconscious. It is choosing.
But even though you bring it to my attention, I may say, "Hey, but I think this is the right way to respond. This is how you're supposed to respond. As a man, this is how I am going to respond."
Okay, and that's where but you're choosing to do that.
I'm choosing to do that, but then I still haven't realized that it's a pattern that needs to be changed. How many men go around and say, "Hey, man, I'm just treating my wife so bad. Can you help me?"
People come in here on Wednesday.
No, they
say
come here
that
because they were sent here.
Some people were sent here, but
Some
why
were
are they
sent.
here?
They were sent here.
They were sent
and
here.
still in here. It takes us 3 to 4 weeks to make them realize you jacked up.
But they were sent here because they had reached a limit to where they no longer wanted to be that way.
Sometimes you leaving. That ain't a limit. That ain't me coming to the awareness of I really need to change. That's she about to kick me out.
I see what you're saying.
I'm about to go to jail.
There are some people, and I know,
Right, right.
Some people, yeah.
I totally get that, and I think we all justify only whenever we're in the midst of a pattern cycle. And all of a sudden it's ruffling some feathers.
Yeah.
And it's on the brink of exposure.
Yeah.
Then we know how to operate in that pattern to protect that pattern because it feels good. We are never we refuse to become fully aware that it is a pattern. That's just a way of life.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll do better next time. And that's what we default to. But and that's what happens with all these guys.
Yeah.
And me included.
Yeah.
And that's why I got here. And then it took me a while to listen to y'all and listen to my wife about sarcasm. I'm like, I ain't sarcastic. Like, y'all are sarcastic. But once what? It is exposed.
Once the pattern is exposed, it's no longer unconscious.
It's no longer unconscious. You can never hide behind it being unconscious again. Tony, you were fixing to yell at us?
Nope.
No.
I was not going to yell at you all. I was just...
I was going to make meaning of that you were going to yell at us.
I was just going back to this whole thing about these repetitions, and I guess I'm trying to get to where they come from.
Yeah.
And the havoc that they cause, but realizing that being neutral is not the best thing to be, because guys got stuff.
Okay.
That's what we're getting at, right?
Yeah, so let's break that down.
Yeah, let's break that down. So neutrality is not for everybody, is what you say. It's not for every man.
No. Neutrality is for somebody who's learned a couple of tools in the toolbox, and they know how to respond, and they don't take things personal. Is that you?
I'm getting there.
You getting there? Is that you?
That's where I'm moving towards.
That's where you're moving. We're moving towards it. So in moving towards it, what is the guy that ain't moved yet? He don't even know he got a problem because he's figured this is the best way to deal with stuff, because it's always worked. Mm-hmm. It's got people off my back. It's got me out of the room.
Right.
It's made my wife shut up.
Right.
So what you're saying ain't gonna help him. That's all I'm saying. I need to get to the place to where he can see himself, because you said knowing. This is what y'all said, knowing. Okay, I know this is what I do, but this is what I have to do, because you ain't gonna shut up if I don't.
You know, when he says this, I think about a text message that we got from a dear friend of ours.
With me?
A text message that we got from a friend of ours that said that he wasn't finna be nobody's boy.
Yeah. So
let's talk to that person. I think this is
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So what do you mean?
What else did he say?
He said he wasn't finna be whooped by.
All right. So let's talk to that guy. Let's talk to that guy who says, "Look, I ain't gonna be nobody's boy." Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, no, I ain't finna be treated like that.
And that's your reaction.
Mm-hmm. All right. Why? Why is that your reaction?
Because you had meaning on it.
Yeah.
But you always have meaning on that. So where'd it come from?
Let's just get the elephant out of the room. They're talking about me. All right. I text them one day and I said, man, I ain't fixing to be nobody's boy. So it's just a lot easier if we just sit.
But then you say that a lot.
Yeah.
You see a lot of people think like that. Mm-hmm. You think you're being.
I ain't finna be no punk. You're not about to punk me.
You think you're being minimized. You think you're not being taken seriously. So that's right. That's your go-to.
So that's the thing. The question is this. It has nothing to do with the other person in the conversation and what they said at all. Mm-hmm. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with, I made meaning on where you're coming from, and I ain't finna be your boy.
Right.
So now, if that's you, it has nothing to do with that person making you their boy. You're making yourself the boy.
Right.
That's really it. So, let's hit the brakes. What does that mean? You ain't telling me I'm making myself. Yes, we are. Mm. Why? The reason I don't want to be nobody's boy, it goes all the way back to the root of the fruit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's the root cause of the pain. Mm-hmm. And my self-protection that says, I'm going to quit before you quit me. Mm-hmm. I'm going to self-sabotage. Mm-hmm. I'm going to isolate when I start to feel uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And you, trust me, you ain't going to tell me what to do. Because it's all the pattern of familiarity that I have walked in for my whole life, that it's what I've created to protect myself. And that's the only way I'm fighting to resolve and hopefully get a different outcome. But that's the only way that I knew how to do it.
Question.
Yeah.
So, how did you come to be aware that you were doing that?
I had people talking to me about, well, not talking to me. I had people asking me questions to discover why I would say that.
Okay.
And like, where does that come from?
Okay. So that was my question. So did you ever at a point in time say, where does this come from? Like, why do I feel this way? Because when you sent the message, like,
no,
where did that, you just like,
no,
right.
No, I just say, am I too loud for you, Justin? All right, just checking to make sure I'm not too loud for Justin. I have always thought people wanted me for their own gain.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't really want me. They wanted me for what I could do for them. Mm. So that became my reality. And like, you don't, what?
I was listening to Myron this morning.
All right.
Myron Golden. We should find some affiliate, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said, people, he's talking about sales, right? But people don't want to speak because of what someone said to them in third grade.
Yeah.
So our adult self,
that goes back to,
for sure.
Yeah.
is not doing the things, producing content or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because of what the third grade teacher said, whatever, however old she was, what. But then, you know, that in second grade, someone said that I was ugly, so I'm ugly. So we're still stuck in
for sure
that 2-year-old, or not 2-year-old, second grade, third grade, for the 8-year-old self. We're still being ran as a full-grown adult by that age, whatever the age that was.
We're talking about what created the cycle.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Rob.
So we talk about, like, my deal was third grade, and what happened. So everything changed for me in third grade, and then it just became like, I ain't gonna be your boy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I set myself up for that. So my reality was, nobody really likes me.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really cares. They always leave.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is going to abandon me.
Mm-hmm.
And you can only count on yourself. So don't let nobody take advantage of you.
You all right?
Yeah, we're pausing for a cough.
Mm.
Jesus.
So don't let anybody take advantage of you. And if it started to feel like you were using me, then that's where I cut you off. Or I still wanted to be invited. I still wanted to be included. I may still show up, be the boy, but then I go home and I'm exhausted. I'm just worn out. So later on in life, I'm like, no way. Mm-hmm. There's no way I'm going to let anybody, because nobody really likes me.
Right.
And dude, living like that is hard. My challenge is for you, if you're listening, if you feel something that resonates with that, shout out to us, because it's not true.
Right.
It's a story that I told myself. It was my narrative that created the world that I live in. Mm-hmm. And it's a self-protected, isolated world that,
Yeah.
But then I feel like, man, if I have to do it your way, mm-hmm. then I'm just catering to you and I'm your boy. Yeah. But that's not even what it means.
Yeah. And I think it's the fear of taking away what is familiar to you to learn something new. Almost like starting over at 50. What? What? Starting over at 60? What? And learning new tools to deal with people with? I don't want to do that. That's a lot. Robert, that's scary.
You're like this. The event hurt you. The meaning shaped you. You are never reacting to what happened. You are reacting to what you decided it meant.
That's it. 100%. That is we are, as human beings, meaning makers. Mm-hmm. So if you think about this, it goes back to neutrality. Mm-hmm. Tony's favorite word. Everything is neutral until what? You place meaning on it.
Meaning runs your life when you never examine it.
How many people would say that, no, I'm not. You're making meaning. No, I'm not. That's what you meant. I know you. Like y'all can say, you're a sarcastic, bro. That's who you are. You're just too sarcastic. It's like your first language. Stop. And I'm like, I'm not sarcastic. But, and then I make meaning like y'all are just picking on me. Yeah. Like y'all are just, you don't understand me.
Yeah.
You just don't understand.
Yeah.
Because truthfully, I've lived most of my life.
You don't understand.
Feeling like I'm right, but I'm feeling like I'm misunderstood.
Yeah.
And to that point, you always say I'm PC, politically correct, but I need you to understand what I'm saying.
Right.
So, hey, did I come across as this? I might have come across like this. Are we good? So I'm always seeking clarification. I've learned to do that because I don't want to be misunderstood because this is going to drive me bonkers, right?
Right.
Like I said this, and then after I have a meeting or I have a conversation, in the past, I would be like, oh man, I said this. I wonder what they thought I meant. No, I'm gonna clarify. I said this. Are you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Do you get, or do I need to say it another way? And so I found that to be more freeing for me.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because I might have come across as being misunderstood. And if there is any misunderstanding, then I want to make sure that we're good.
I understand what you're saying.
Jeez, that's like the other end of the spectrum for me. Because I'm like, you don't understand. You want me to dumb this down for you, Tony?
Right.
Right? It's like this self-protection. Like if you don't understand, you just ain't as smart. And like, I don't even think that maybe you didn't understand.
Right.
I just assume you understand.
Right.
And the problem with common sense is it's just not that common.
Yeah.
But I think it's common sense. But I'm defining what common sense is. You have a different definition of what common sense is.
Yeah.
Gosh, it just creates such chaos.
Yeah.
So learning that everything is neutral. We talked about Don Miguel Ruiz, boy, those 4 agreements. Don't take anything personally. Make no assumptions. That's what 2 and 3 mean of the 4 agreements. Man, don't take it personally. Don't assume anything. But meaning making typically drives our response. And then if we've always just become so natural with making negative meaning on it, it's not neutral, and then it's always somebody else's fault.
Right.
What I'm saying is it's my fault. I have to own what I do, what I say, how I react, how I respond.
Yeah.
And if I can respond, if I don't make meaning of what people say, they can't hurt my feelings. And what you're saying is that, I think you're saying that's true, but you can't act like whatever you do, you have a free pass. Like, I can say whatever I want, and you choose whether it's going to hurt your feelings or not. I hate that hat. It's stupid. Like, I could say that. You go, that's my favorite hat. I got it from my grandfather. Man, was that hurtful? It may be hurtful, but we really have all the power. Nobody but you can disrupt your day.
Right.
And for you manly men out there, I think realizing that the minute that you become more aware of your emotions and controlling them, that makes you more of a man because you control the outcome. You control the situation. You might be in a situation at a bar or at a, with a bunch of jocks, dudes, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, they call it a slapping contest, right?
What is a slapping contest?
I'm not going to go there. If you know, you know, right?
I don't know.
Because we're always slapping at the table, beating your chest. Who's going to be loud? I'm the bigger man here, right? And it's cool. All right, awesome.
Oh,
yeah.
I get it now.
There goes that sarcasm.
I get it now. No, I actually got it, but I think it was from a term from like 3 generations earlier than what y'all use.
Yeah. But yeah, so you can control your anger. You can control your emotions, and you can say, I'm not going to get upset about that. And I think that makes you more of a man to be able to control that emotion and to control that. I think you really control the room. And it's not about control.
Right.
Other than self-control.
That's the good control.
Yeah. And that's the ultimate control, I think, is self-control. Self-awareness.
Self-control is mentioned multiple times in the old text that we call the Bible. So yes, self-control is a good thing. It is a great thing. So, all right. So if we're talking to men, we're out there, you're driving your big truck with a V8 and a brand new catalytic converter.
5.7.
Oh yeah.
liter.
Yeah. Woo,
Hemi.
yeah, that's right. Or you're driving your bicycle, whatever. I didn't want to say any other car because I don't want it to be negative. Since we made your truck sound so amazing. So what actually creates the cycle? We're gonna get through this real quick because this is super important. All right, yeah, y'all are talking about cycles, y'all are talking about patterns, unconscious and all that, but what creates those patterns? Unexamined pain is number one. When everybody has pain. I would think it's fair to say everybody has pain. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
Yeah, we got it. All right. Unexamined pain. Well, I don't got no pain. Right, because you're in that category. You have unexamined pain. And if so we need to start examining what causes our actions. Why would we say something? Why do we do something? What causes us to do that? Number two, misinterpreted events in our life. That's the meaning making. So you've got unexamined pain, misinterpreted events, and we tend to have a shame-based identity. That's just how I was raised. That's just shame-based identity. That has to change. Maybe we'll get into that. Familiarity disguised as comfort. Those are those constant patterns that we just jump back to. It's familiar, so we're really good at it, falling back into that pattern, right? And avoidance of discomfort. Have you ever felt comfortable getting out of your comfort zone? It's our comfort zone. We have to get out of it. That's not comfortable. So we tend to avoid the discomfort. That's gonna come. That's the next step. When you start to get uncomfortable, it's good. There's a good uncomfortableness. That's really the awareness of what this unexamined pain comes from. Do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, unexamined meaning becomes identity. As I said earlier, and if meaning is wrong, then the behavior will always be wrong.
Yeah, man, that's pretty big. So a lot of men say we can't change, but we barely want disruption. I can't change, but don't disrupt me. So we don't have that willingness to change. Freedom always disrupts something comfortable. You talked last week about, and then we'll go to you real quick, Tony. You said, allow your loneliness to be interrupted. It's gold. Freedom always disrupts something. Freedom always disrupts something comfortable. It's like, I'm not looking for freedom. I just want to feel this way. Okay, that's freedom. I want to be free from feeling this way, acting this way. But you're comfortable in it. Allow yourself to be interrupted.
I was going to say the disruption is the beginning of knowing.
Okay, yeah.
Because once you're disrupted, it's brought to your attention. You internalize it, try to receive it, then that's the process begins.
And then once you are aware of it, you can no longer hide behind it. You can no longer say that it's unconscious. It's a conscious decision to do something. And that's where I think I want to empower us as men to know how powerful we are in that choice. It truly is our choice to disrupt and cut off that generational issue or the generational pattern or the self-destructive pattern.
It's a choice, and then there's things out there that can help you continue to make that choice every day. Because I think the scary part of this is disrupting, and then what do I do now?
Yeah.
And I've been doing this for all my life. So you're going to replace it? And then what? And then it becomes vulnerability. I'm actually going to listen to my wife and feel like I'm siding with her, meaning I don't disagree, but we don't realize that the disagreement is really not a disagreement. It's that you put meaning behind everything, so you think she's taking advantage of you. Yeah. She's really not. She's wanting to get clarity. And you're like, but nah, I'm not going to give in to her like that. Like, be the boy or whatever. Yeah. It's really not. But then there's tools out there to help them know that we're stripping away some stuff, but we're going to give you some good stuff.
Yeah.
Some stuff that's going to make you a better man, a better father, better friend, better communicator, probably.
Yeah. You know, I will tell you in this process, because I'm really working on this, my wife will say something and immediately she go, are you thinking about this? Because I'll immediately, when she says it, I'll go with my face. Like I'm thinking now. I'm like, okay, no, there is no meaning neutral. Just listen to what she's saying and assume the positive. And I'm telling you, it's work, but it reduces disagreements and opens conversation. And I'm a long way off from being able to have a lot of conversation because I'm just speaking from a low place a lot of the times, and I'm self-protecting. So if we widen the lens to this generational angle, just a reference if you want a good book to read out there, it's there's the Bible, Exodus chapter 20. It talks about generations, not random, but repeated patterns. So there's some reading. For me, my story was my father was absent at 13 years old. My divorce aligned when my son was 13. It's not fate. It was really an inherited narrative. It wasn't destiny. It was just narrative. Narratives can be rewritten. Like I can rewrite a lot of the story that I've lived out in my life. And I really believe that God is doing that in my life and rewriting my story. So I'm very grateful for that.
And then in the rewriting of your story, let's just talk a little bit about this. You wrote a book. You're in the process of it's in the editing process right now.
Yeah, right? It's with the publisher, and they are editing it, and it's been dark. I mean, it's been about a year of writing in real time and real pain, and then going back through my entire life, and it's been really freeing, but I haven't really wanted to do a lot of it. And I had to be pushed through it because there's some ugliness in there. And but my daughter did something on Sunday, my little daughter, 2.5 years old, and that the whole year really culminated in this one event where we were getting ready. I was getting her ready to go to church, and she had this dress, and so she put one arm in, and then you know how kids do. They've got the other arm in, and they're spinning in circles, hoping that it just somehow lands in there. And she's like, I can't do it. She starts to cry, tears in her eyes. She's asking for help. Hey, I need help. Daddy, I need help. So she came over to me, and I said, baby, I'll help you. And I put her arm. I grabbed her arm and as soon as her hand hit the hole in the arm sleeve, she went, I got it. And I mean, just retreated. Walked away like she just figured out a Rubik's Cube at 2.5, right? Like, and then immediately in the still small voice, God whispered to my heart, you do that to me. And that was it. And then it was gone. And so I thought, man, I ask for help, and then as soon as I feel comfortable again, I tell him, I got it from here. Thanks, bro. Me and you, right? That's it. But I think we all do that to a degree. I got it. Because pressing in past the comfort zone is unknown. Like, I don't know what's out there, but I know what's here. We talk a lot about milestones, and we talk about these altars to build of the things that God has done for us, and the answers to our prayers, and checkpoints. We talked about checkpoints in video games. That was Tony's favorite podcast. If you didn't watch that one, go back and watch it. He loved video games. Especially the video games. I think it was great. But there's these checkpoints in life. We tend to get comfortable. Yeah. And then we tell God, I got it. You go, Tony needs you today. You know, they got a lot of stuff in Iran going on right now, or whatever, in Afghanistan, the Middle East, Israel, the Jews, whatever it is in the news today. You got bigger fish to fry. But the truth is, man, God's handling that. At the same time, he's talking to me.
But what we can handle, or what we can do, is declare a breakdown, I was going to say, right?
Yeah.
And I no longer choose to stay on this generational cycle. I'm going to be the difference maker. I'm going to be the one to stop this cycle, and I'm going to be the one to change the trajectory of my family, my lineage.
Yeah. It's interesting that you just said, I'm going to choose to be the one. Everything's a choice. Like I believe our whole purpose and our whole goal with this is to bring choosing to the surface.
Yeah.
It's, what are you going to choose? Even the scripture says, choose this day who you are going to serve.
Yeah. I think my struggle has been, this whole conversation is the knowing. Getting men to see that what they're doing is way beneath who they are and their potential. And what they want in life, they can get it. But the repeated habits they have done, or cycle they have in, it's not going to get them there. But they don't get it. So I think about a lot of guys my age, right? Or older, 45, 50, 60, whatever. Younger, but older. They really believe that the repeated habits that they're in, or cycles that they're in, this is who they are, and they're going to be this way, and there is no options for them. And so you can look at them and see they're living a depleted life, but it works for them.
You got guys that are stuck, that are in the same repeated pattern over and over and over and over again, and that may be you on the screen or listening, and you're saying that I don't even get. I can't even imagine that. Yeah. Because I'm in the same job. There's a cap. I can't make any more. Yeah. There's too much month at the end of the money.
Yeah.
There ain't hope.
There is hope. That's what we're trying to get you to see, that there is hope for you. You don't have to be that away, but you got to own it. That's what they've been saying. You got to own it. You got to take ownership of this. If you want something different, you got to do something different. The habits that you've been doing repeatedly over and over again are not getting you the outcome. And then the bigger thing with me is this. If you feel that big void in you that you're not living up to your God-given purpose, that's where I'm talking about. Because if you don't change this and go seek out help, you'll die in that pattern and blame it on God or your wife or your sons or your kids, or you had to stop going to college to raise a family, or the job held you down. None of that matters until you decide, okay, how can I change this? How can I fix this? That's why I'm dealing with it. That's what's been running in my head for the longest. We got guys all day long that come in, but the guys come to our classes, they're looking for help. So then we break it, we unpack it, and then we decide, okay, this is what we need to do or whatever. But the average guy will never own that. They believe that what they got going on is this is enough. And you're living so much smaller than who you are. Oh my gosh, so much smaller. And we're not saying we're the giants. We're just saying we found a better way.
And we're aware. We're aware.
Yeah, we're aware, and so now we have choices.
So yeah, and I would say our repeatable cycle is a little different. We may still fall victim in stuck in a repeated cycle.
Yeah.
But our repeated cycle for the repeated cycle, like now we have two of them. The repeated cycle for when we fall into the repeated cycle is 1, name the cycle precisely.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what you can do. Be aware to name the cycle precisely. Number 2, identify the original meaning that's attached to it. Like, what does it mean that, and what am I attaching to this? So number 1 is to name that cycle. So that cycle may be just, I'm in a cycle of, I go to work, I on the way home, I stop by the store, I stop by the liquor store. When I get home, I make something to eat, some really fancy Marie Callender's, #Marie Callender's, microwave meal. And then I drink until I feel good. And then I go to sleep and go to work the next day. That may be a cycle, but you may not like it. There could be so much more. Whatever that cycle is, name it precisely.
Name it, or ask the question, why am I so unhappy?
Yeah, why am I doing that?
Because the unhappiness created the cycle.
Identify the meaning.
Yeah.
That's number 2. Number 3, go ahead.
You can identify the meaning, but then for those people that, it's because this person, the man's hold me down, or it's because I'm black in America, right? Or it's a white man's world, or whatever, right? So, okay, when you get to that point, what part do you play in that?
You decide if that meaning is actually true.
Correct. That's what
we created in his likeness and his image.
Yeah, that's number 3.
Bleed red, so nobody can hold you down.
Number 3 is decide if it's true. Like, you're telling yourself this is true.
Yes. That's
the meaning you're making. And then, is the meaning actually true? Can somebody hold you down? If your job, if I'm at the ceiling, and you are truly capable of more, go get it. That's another option. We could talk about that. Yeah. You may be limited belief that says I can't, but you can do everything. You can be anything you want to be. You can do it all. But our limiting belief, that comes down to identity. So, all right, so number 4, we've had step 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 or 4 is replace identity before replacing behavior. You spoke to that earlier. You got to replace who you say that you are.
Right.
Who are you? You said you're wonderfully and beautifully made.
Right. And then habits will have to come with that, because even if you got to learn them, I have been acting out of character.
Yeah.
60 years.
Yeah.
This is not who I am.
Right. So here's the thing. The guy one night says, I'm not going to the liquor store.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yep.
He goes home and eats. That's it. Nothing. But he didn't change his identity.
Right.
Well, I still need that. Now I got to go. Tomorrow, we're going to the liquor store.
Yep.
Probably that night, we're still going back to the liquor store. But what I'm saying is that's the pattern. And if that pattern is strong, if you don't replace your identity, and I'm coming from a place of, I am still mid-process of changing my identity.
Yeah.
So I'm like mid-process.
Well, I think your identity has been changed because Christ does that. You're at mid-place of accepting the identity that he's given you. I
have to replace my identity with his identity.
You have to replace your identity, but accept his.
Yeah. And then that I accept that is my new identity.
Which is going back to the knowing. Once I know who I am, then I know how to act.
Yeah.
And so I know how to act now. I don't do that. That's not me.
Yep.
That's beneath me.
And you're right.
So we can't replace both. You can replace one, but then now you got to receive.
And you got to be committed to. I was talking to a guy that I've been mentoring, walking with for maybe a year now.
Yeah.
And he had a slip up. while he was, out of town or whatnot. And
That whole out of town.
yeah, out of town, right?
It'll get you every time.
You know what he told me though? Hey, this is not me. And he's had whatever slips or whatnot, but and we've coached him to where when I say okay, I'm having a conversation with my wife, right? So she's not okay, cool. And he was in a place to where he thought he passed one test.
Yeah.
Right? So I didn't go out, I didn't do this that I could have, but I didn't. And so like I passed that, son, right?
Yeah.
Then this little foxes got home. Boom, right? Saw something he shouldn't have saw, and then one thing led to another, right? Yeah. And I said, man, but you have to declare a breakdown. I said the important thing is, okay, you told me this. You got to declare the breakdown, but don't binge. Don't just really fall off. That's why I tell y'all.
Start on Friday, call us on Monday.
Yeah.
What?
Exactly.
What? That should have been Friday night. Call me. No,
Kudos to him, right? Shout out to him, and that's how we have to be. Okay, I passed the big test, but then this is exactly how I phrased it. You passed the test, but then you got to the next class or whatnot, right? It's the pop quiz, baby. You study, you prepared for that test, right? But then you passed the test. Woo! Your guard is down. Okay, surprise pop quiz. Oh crap! I wasn't ready for this pop quiz.
All that stuff I put into short-term memory, I just let go.
That's right.
Now I got to remember it.
Yes.
Step 5: practice interruption in all the small moments.
Wow.
So, interruption, man. If you don't pay attention to it, I would venture to say, if I would challenge you, if you guys are struggling with porn or you're looking at stuff that you're not supposed to, it's not porn, it's soft porn. It's whatever. If you become aware of it and aware when you do this, I would venture to say you probably are going to get a text from somebody. Don't ignore it. Or you're going to get a phone call right in the middle of it. The interruptions will come, and you may have already had them, but you discount them. It's like the alarm on when you're waking up in the morning, you snooze. You're going to see the interruption, welcome it, and then practice it in the small moments. All right, you don't escape cycles dramatically.
The Holy Spirit doesn't hit you over the head.
No,
it uses people, it uses stuff. It can't talk to you obviously because you're not listening. So he'll use a phone call. So I
would say your exit strategy, the learning is those 5 steps, and they'll probably put them in the notes, those 5 steps. And then just know that you're not broken, and you may be bent. You may have a hard time. It may not feel like there's any hope, but there's hope. We giving you a shovel, and start digging.
Yeah, I just want to let you know that you don't repeat the past because you're weak. Okay, you repeat it because it's familiar.
There you go.
But once it's familiar and visible, it's no longer automatic. And once it's no longer automatic, you can interrupt it. It's possible. You can do it. All right. You don't have to repeat the past, but you do have to confront it. And the end. We'll end with this. All right. Cycles end when a man decides discomfort is safer than the repetition.
That's big. Cycles end when a man decides discomfort is safer than repetition. It may look like that is way out of reach for me, but it's about the process. Just take the step. You listen to this if you made it to the end. First step.
You don't break the cycles by trying harder.
No.
You break them by telling the truth. Flip the switch. Shed the light on the darkness.
Stop fighting and surrender. Just give up and look for resources to help you.
And we'll post some resources in the link below. We would love to hear your feedback in a sense of what are you struggling with? What do you need help with? Drop a comment, smash the like button, subscribe, share. Until next time, I'm Sean, that's Rob, that's Tony.
Peace.
We are the 2 to 1 pod.